All set for quarter number 3 here on Cuda.com. Welcome back, everybody. Christian Payne hanging out with you for this Capital Clash, battle for Free State bragging rights in the great city of Annapolis. On the line tonight and putting on an absolute shellacking. The first half, St. Mary's up 7-0, looking for more. A hot shot coming from the left hand of Spencer Coyle. Those big guns. Mary's man up here after that penalty to end the first half going against Severn. Robertson with a big righty robe. That thing just about a foot over the crossbar. You know, Christian Wheeler was praying for that thing to go wide. Good 85 plus mile an hour on that shot from Robertson. Quickly, turn shot goal for numero 8 on the crease this time, finding an opening is Jamie Lilly. Bang, bang, boom. The drop of a hat, another goal here with 11:14 left to play in the third quarter. Plenty of lacrosse left, but is Severn going to be able to erase that goose egg? 8-0. St. Mary's with a commanding lead here. Another goal to start this third quarter. Third quarter brought to you by FCA Lacrosse as Coyle putting on a show, a little swim move at midfield. Of course, go to FCALax.com or call at 443-212-8131. FCA Lacrosse become a solid player both on and off the field. Putting on a number of top-notch camps and events throughout the year. A wonderful program for student athletes to grow on the field and in the community for Christ. 8-0. St. Mary's just putting that foot on the gas pedal and not letting up. Ben Rubier, I'm sure, giving some words of wisdom at halftime to continue his team's mojo here in the third quarter. Skip pass, here's Andrews, maybe with a look, but Coyle will check and scan. 10 minutes to go here in the third quarter. It's been a party all afternoon long. People just tailgating, having a great time here before this classic rivalry matchup in Annapolis. Of course, these two schools go at it every year. It's always the one that you circle on your calendar. So St. Mary's trying to get some vengeance after a tough 9-7 decision last year going Severn's way, but the table is completely turned as Cole Robertson, little face dodge, spikes that thing to the left though. You know, Cole can take on multiple defenders and find the back of the net at will. Some healthy hacks, looking like a Chris Davis baseball swing coming from Devlin Nelligan. It's turned away by Christian Wheeler. Speaking of Chris Davis, he is just absolutely crushing baseballs for the Baltimore Orioles, and he was recognized for his efforts. Player of the month in April, Major League Baseball. Good stuff. Righty shot, save. Offering from Robertson, stopped by Wheeler. Hot ground ball sent forward and goes Severn's way here for the Admirals to get back to work. Got to be tired, but he's got plenty of legs, plenty of energy. David Jones plays both sides of the field for Severn. He'll get a much needed break as the Admirals will step it in here. 8:25 left to play here in the third quarter. Back at X working is Lehman. Looking for this matchup now. Graham Davis will get to work. Down the left alley is Davis. Through X, that far side, looking for a good matchup to work with, but St. Mary's defense just pounding out on the hands of the Admirals on the perimeter. great spin move on the inside. The ball knocked loose, but a beautiful save by Skylar Morris. Says, get up and get out of here. Trying to sneak through is Andrew DeStefano and stick that thing on the crease, but Morris keeps the shutout alive. 7:49 to go here in the third. Slash going against the Saints. Getting tagged for the penalty is Hunter Smith. He'll have to take a seat, spend some time in the sin bin, a la Craig Lockling. Always got to give Locker the shout out for that call. Loving the playoffs. Great victory for the Capitals in game 1 over the Rangers. Continuing and evolving into a great rivalry between New York and Washington and the NHL. My money's on Ovi to rock the red. Here the red jerseys on this turf trying to get their first tally, but number 8 just has a completely different game plan. Skylar Morris standing tall and just being an outstanding component for Ben Rubier's team on the defensive end. Ball in limbo, on the turf, up in the air, any which way. Picked up on that far sideline and up ahead with plenty of speed across midfield line is Matthew Sindler. Turn up the notch a little bit. Severn has got to have a sense of urgency now with 6 minutes, 30 seconds left to go here in the third quarter. Down 8-0. Not impossible, but it's going to take plenty of teamwork. Here's Bedard. Brett hands over to David Jones. Jones taking his time, trying to get a little bit of a sub situation here as Coyle is a mad dash to the midfield line. Now his favorite compadre is back on that far side of the midfield line. Jones with quick first step to his left. Now Bedard, always drawing that pole matchup. Severn checking in tonight with a 9-9 resume. Beautiful lefty jumper, just unable to stick it. Coming through is Ryan Lehman. That's the type of connection that Admirals desperately need here. Backed up on the restart, a little bit of contact on that far side, but weathered nicely, and a shot and score. Forget about the shutout, because Andrew DeStefano just put a tally, put a tick, put a notch up on the scoreboard for Severn. Finally, the Admirals faithful getting something to cheer about here with 5:28 left to play in the third quarter. Took a long time, but it's finally here. A goal for Severn makes this contest 8-1. Capital clash here in Annapolis. Now heats up, back to the face-off battle, which was a sight to see in the first quarter. Alex Woodall just dominating, winning every face-off in the first quarter. Picked up by Coyle initially, knocked loose on the second effort though. Wonderful job by the pole for Severn, Emmett Nelson, to come through and win that ground ball. If there's a will, there's a way, and Emmett Nelson found on that second effort. GB goes to Michael Bucci. Under 5 minutes left to play here in the third quarter. This third quarter brought to you by FCA Lacrosse. Who do you play for? Well, play for a purpose. Join FCA Lacrosse today. Wonderful purposes and plans. All the directors at FCA Lacrosse. If you're interested, check them out at fcalax.com and see what they have to offer. Also available on Twitter and on Facebook. Kept alive on the far side. Nice GB and full run there by Lehman. One-handed pickup. Now at X, looking to shift is Hunter Gray. A little inside roll from Hunter. Wonderful defensive pressure though by Michael Steele. I'll tell you what, Michael Steele knows how to play some short stick defense. Here's Bedard. He's been silenced. Only a couple shots to show for here. Puts that shoulder down. Little righty jumper wide left, and Morris has a beat on it, but cannot run it out against Gray. Off the restart, quick one. Here's Hunter. Great atmosphere here tonight for this classic rivalry. Got a little two-piece band, some drums banging on the far side. Got the student section full. Even had a little bit of a halftime show with some youngsters playing some fiddlestick lax against a fence here on the complex, St. Mary's School turf. Always gotta love the game of Bagataway any which way you can get it. Of course, Bagataway, the term used by the Iroquois
St. Mary's 22 with the push.
Back in the day, back in the good old day when the sport got its roots. Has evolved all the way into this great sport we enjoy today. St. Mary's enjoying the majority of this contest. Still up 8-1, 3:19 left to go here in the third quarter. Severn trying to change that. They go for a man up. Trying to find a soft spot, if there is one, in this St. Mary's defense. Both teams in desperate need of a win. Haven't gotten a tally in that W column since April the 9th, for both teams. Of course, St. Mary's coming off another heartbreaker, another one-goal loss against Spalding on Tuesday. Penalty is released. Nice job, man down unit to get out and no advanced effort by Severn with that pipe. Feels the wrath of the shot coming in, getting all of that left pipe. It was Ryan Lehman. Just a couple inches, and number 11 would have had numero dos for the Admirals, but not the case. 2 minutes and change here in the third quarter. Christian Payne here with you, calling the shots for this Capital Clash, little backyard battle I like to call it.
2 minutes left.
Battle for the Free State bragging rights. St. Mary's looking to get them back after falling short to Severn last year. May 4th, 2012. Admirals coming away with a big 9-7 decision over the Saints at home. That was last spring, and then this spring it's been, let's just say, a different story. 8-1, still the score here. We approach the final moments of the third quarter. Second mids now getting some third quarter burn for Ben Rubior. Schneider moves it through. Schneider's had a couple nice lefty shots here tonight. A couple goals to his name. Got to believe that he's trying to take a few pages out of his coach's book. Looking eerily similar to Ben Rubier a la 2004 for the Loyola Dons. Little lefty attacking style on that 5x5 island. Always a good sight to see. 45 seconds. Here's Gotluski letting one go with the left hand. Tipped by Christian Wheeler. Good job by number 1 to hang tight in the cage for Severn here with 35 seconds left to go in the third. Right to left split. Little rollback. Trying to test the waters is Godlewski. The other Godlewski. Here's Mack. The window just rings that thing off the face mask. Hitting the wrong cage, hitting the cage of the helmet of Wheeler. Loose in front of the net, though, with 10 seconds. Scooped up initially by St. Mary's, but there is Bedard. He's got a big GB and absolutely run over Godlewski. That's going to be his highlight here tonight. No goals to show for it, but definitely getting into it. A little bit of extracurricular activity warrants the penalty. And Severn is fired up. Let's see if they can carry this momentum into the final quarter. Your score through 3, St. Mary's 8, Severn 1.